tweeting that his ops are DMing him about Shaq, telling his ops to go and ask the woman what happened when he caught Shaq using the bathroom, and Melly even went as far as to vaguely confess to the murder in direct.
LOL, Shaq was laying next to that garbage can smelling like one.
The witness also noted that the passenger had his face covered. The van then took a turn while Fathead and his cousin continued walking. A moment later, one of those passengers of the car would appear on foot, approaching the pair with his hands in his pocket. The man would then pull a silver handgun from his pocket and shoot Fathead before standing over him and shooting around 7 more times.
God! I ain't know they did like that.
These exotic boys, smoke exotic ops. You ain't heard about murder boys, we got exotic glocks. Tied to pull up real fast, with a lot of shots. Bitch, I'm feeling just like Mac, I got a lot of guap.
Mula, gang with y'all on, it's your boy Mac Mula, aka Mr. Mula Mac. And I'm back with another video. Y'all know how we rock it, man. Cloud stocking, man. Keep the cushion in my pocket, man. Listen, check it out. I got a mentorship right now on my YouTube. It's for all YouTubers who want to make millions on YouTube. I can show you how to make millions off reactions, 2K, gaming, whatever it is. So it's $40. You get a lifetime of mentorship. One-time payment. Tap in, man. Link in the description. Ski! I'm trying to put everybody on. So, tap into the description, man. Stop tweaking. Yeah. The murder of Shaq. Uh-oh.
2011 had been a violent year for 600 and their enemies. After losing numerous prominent members, Baldy, D-Thang and Lil Steve, the crew would be in a perpetual state of mourning. Unfortunately, moving into 2012, the violence would continue, and the killing 600 members had committed against their various enemies surrounding them would eventually see a response. Just 3 months after the murder of T-Streets and Tutu, on the 2nd of February 2012, which would also happen to be T-Streets' birthday, according to a police report shared on Reddit, 600 affiliate Shaq had been attending a party that night. After the party, as he was heading home with a girl, a lone gunman would surprise them in an alleyway. Police would reportedly be notified about shooting on the 5900 block of South Calumet Avenue.
59 for Calumet is like 600. That's like 600. That's like where you gonna see 600 at. So like everybody from over there.
Marking the border between the territories of 600 and MOB. And there, the police would find 19-year-old Shaq, who according to the newspapers had already passed away from multiple gunshot wounds, including one to the head. However, the official report states that Shaq was only hit once in the upper left of his back. But regardless of the specifics, Shaq would ultimately pass away from the shooting, and 600 members would be left mourning. While Shaq's murder would officially go unsolved, 051 would seemingly take responsibility for the hit. Little over a month after Shaq's death, 051 member Boom would release a music video for his song, I'm In It. And the video begins with a clip of 051 members taunting their ops, saying they're BDK, with 051 Kiddo aiming his diss directly at 600, saying 600, we drop
Kiddo
K with 051.
Oh, that's Kiddo right there. This Kiddo right here.
So, aiming his diss directly at...
And that's Fats right there. I ain't never seen this video before, but Fats was the nigga who they said wasn't really like with that shit, but he was with that shit though. Like he was one of them niggas like, and everybody loved Fathead. You know what I'm saying? I only knew him because he used to hoop. I ain't never know him on no gangbang shit, but everybody loved Fathead. So when Fathead died, I ain't gonna lie, that shit turned the streets up. I ain't gonna lie.
600, we dropping them boys.
Drillers, freedom gas, man, BDK, baby, no 06 photo.
Drop money, but can't come out the gate though, man. Out here fake like gangsters and shit. Yeah, real young money, no. With CDK, with CDK.
But there was one man from 051 in particular who would talk about Shaq religiously on
CDK, that's
social media,
block.
and that man was infamous 051 member Melly, who implied that Shaq had been killed while peeing outside of the
I heard
party.
600 Shaq last words was, "Can I piss first?" LOL, Shaq City. Who invented that? I'll be real disrespectful. I'm gonna have the last word.
Even going as far as to say that he heard his last words and claiming direct responsibility for the murder. In the years following Shaq's death, Melly would constantly diss Shaq on Twitter and give detailed descriptions about where and how he died, tweeting that his ops are DMing him about Shaq, telling his ops to go and ask the woman what happened when he caught Shaq using the bathroom, and Melly even went as far as to vaguely confess to the murder in direct...
LOL, Shaq was laying next to that garbage can smelling like one. LOL, talk about something you did. We all know what I did to y'all. I'm good. Okay, so this nigga said Fathead was with a she left him with A in his face. LOL, talk about something you did. We all know what I did.
Replies to
LOL,
other
who called Shaq in the alley with his tweets. LOL,
it's also suspected that 051 Kiddo may have been closely involved in the murder of Shaq too. Maybe. He would also be seen disrespecting his death and taunting 600 members about the incident, tweeting that he would kill Shaq, then forget all about it. Mocking him for getting caught without a gun, Shaq was saying, "Die young money," until he died himself. Melly would even post a video to social media of him explaining to a little girl how he had done the killing.
You know how I play out here. You don't come with that money, shorty. Come up and done missing. You talking, you don't know who I am?
Tell him stop playing with her.
You know who I am?
I know my daddy.
You scared of the dark?
No.
I'm one of them type of guys that be in the dark waiting for you when you gotta go pee at night.
Oh
And
no.
that just get you.
I know he ain't say that.
Your parents again. You hear me? Then your TT ain't gonna be able to save you. Your daddy, he gonna be crying somewhere like, man, she don't got nothing to do with me.
This is honestly one of the most twisted and disturbing things I've ever seen in a Chicago.
I ain't gonna
story.
that's some twisted weird. Yo, I don't know what guy this.
Show you how.
Niggas, y'all gotta know though. Niggas in the streets really be, boy, you walking around with like a cloud over your dark cloud over your head, gang. That's real.
One Melly must have been. But despite all of the self-incrimination, Melly would never be charged for the killing of Shaq, and Reddit sleuths would later uncover that at the time of Shaq's murder, Melly was in fact living in 600's territory, something that Melly would confirm in a 2012 Twitter post. Ultimately, 051 Melly would go on to become one of Chicago's most prolific killers in the drill scene, with speculation that he may well have personally been responsible for as many as 8 or 9 murders, beginning with Shaq, with all of these supposed killings earning Melly the chilling nickname the Gravedigger of Chirac. But more on that later, as after the murder of Shaq by 051 Melly, 600 members
getting nicknamed the Gravedigger of Chirac is like asking, like signing your death sentence, gang. That's what that like, because, and that's why if I was, when I was never as deep in the streets as these niggas was, like, you know what I'm saying? I was always like ankle deep. These niggas like neck deep off of them. But if I was as deep in the streets as these niggas, if I was doing some of the shit these niggas did, I promise you, gang, the last thing I would ever want is for somebody to actually find out that's what I'm doing. Don't put no motherfucking red dot on me. Don't put the police on me like that.
Of Chirac.
Well, and I something. No,
after the murder of Shaq by 051 Melly, 600 members would be looking to exact revenge, which would ultimately come around 4 months later.
4 months
600
later
would catch prominent 051 members committing one of the most infamous murders of the entire war.
Yeah, this the one that turned this one right here turned the streets up, nigga. I think this was like 2012, 2013, maybe. This right here, boy, it got wicked after this thing.
On the 22nd of June 2012, around 8:40 p.m., 14-year-old 051 member, known in the streets as Fathead, real name Antonio Davis, was walking on the 7,000 block of South Union Avenue in the Englewood neighborhood with his female cousin. According to the cousin, a silver minivan would slowly drive past the two while the driver looked at Fathead
they say they was at
very
69
closely. The witness also noted that the passenger had his face covered. The van then took a turn while Fathead and his cousin continued walking. A moment later, one of those passengers of the car would appear on foot, approaching the pair with his hands in his pocket. The man would then pull a silver handgun from his pocket and shoot Fathead before standing over him and shooting around 7 more times.
God! I ain't know they did like that.
Escaping the scene. Fathead would succumb to his gunshot wounds, and this particular Friday evening was incredibly violent, even by Chicago standards, with another 13 people actually getting wounded.
Bro, they shot him, stood over him, and hit him, and shot him 7 more times, gang.
But the murder of Fathead, just 4 months after the murder of Shaq, appeared to be a targeted revenge killing related directly to this feud. Following the murder, 600 members would begin dissing Fathead constantly on social media and implying their involvement throughout 2012 and 2013. C-Day would even put Fathead's name in his Twitter bio and reply to somebody who was upset about this that he saw something they didn't, as well as asking his followers if they would like to get a Fathead special with Zeke Fries, referring to another dead Young Money member, Zico, who was considered to be the first casualty of the war between 051 Young Money and THF 46, raging between these rival sets around Washington Park.
See, I'm gonna show y'all, I'm gonna pretty much show y'all everything. So this 46, I'm trying to figure out where the map at. This, okay, bet. So this 46, this YM, right? This is where I'm from. So I'm from like right here. Like, this is where I grew up at for the most part. My block was not like turned like that. Like Harold Washington Park right here, I grew up right across the street. Like right here, my building, you feel me? But YM right here, 46 right here. You got the moles down here. You got the moles down here. You got 051 over here too. This really all 051. All this 51st Street right here. All this 51st Street, this you'll see them niggas over here. You know what I'm saying? Where else we at? I can't really tell what everything else. State Street, all them niggas over there. You got O Block in the mix. Like, I was surrounded by so much shit on the other side. So like,
Young Money and THF
it's really busting around that whole area.
But the craziest part about C-Day dissing Fathead so brazenly was that only a few weeks before that murder, C-Day had seemingly already been investigated in relation to another murder, perhaps that of Tutu at the end of 2011. Other members would also continue to taunt and disrespect Young Money on social media, such as 600 member Face, who was filmed visiting a chicken spot in Young Money's hood and asking for a Fathead sandwich.
Oh, he talking about, I forgot, it's Jimmy.
What you want that face? You want that? Oh, your face sandwiches, guys. Oh, damn.
Hey, what's he say?
The fattest one. No,
You say the what?
Well, that's Shaq.
Inky D would up the ante by heavily implying that D Rose and C-Day were responsible for killing Fathead, tweeting that D Rose and C-Day put 8 in his face. Police reports would later reveal that authorities actually believe that 600 members C-Day and S-Dot were both involved in the murder.
Pause. Listen, I have a mentorship called the Mula membership where I'm going to teach you how to get rich with business, YouTube, crypto, stocks, financial literacy, credit, every single way. Now, I became a millionaire by the time I was 23 years old. I'm going to teach you step by step for only $50. Click the first link in the description right now and get added to my group chat where I'm going to give you one-on-one help to make sure you get rich in 2024. Click it right now. Stop tweaking because we got very, very, very limited spots and I don't want you to miss this bag. Now, I heard a lot of shit about C-Day. I heard C-Day was a real body catcher on phone now. I ain't never really heard that about S-Dot, but I wouldn't be surprised on phone now.
And they were eventually taken into custody and interrogated.
Also, he got locked up for that?
Lamron 300 members, one of them known as Lamron OJ, real name Marvin Riley, referred to in the police report by his nickname, Boo Man. The report shows how C-Day's fingerprints and phone were found in the van that the killers were allegedly driving. In fact, it was this phone that would originally begin to tie to the murder in the summer of 2012. As many drill fans know, leaving his phone at the scene of crimes would later become somewhat of a hallmark of C-Day during his alleged hits, with this ultimately being his downfall. But interestingly, not long after C-Day was first interrogated about the murder, the police would receive information from a female that was arrested for a retail theft. The female would relate to the police a Facebook message that she received from a person who would talk about Fathead, claiming that her friends had allegedly killed him. The message would claim that Fathead was killed for no reason, suggesting they killed him because he was lacking on the wrong street. Later in 2012, the police would also hear from a witness who had recognized the driver of the van as S-Dot after seeing his music video for the song 600 Boy. S-Dot would first deny knowing either C-Day or OJ and would claim he didn't personally know Fathead, but he did know that he was dead. However, he would later admit to knowing C-Day, but not OJ. The case against C-Day, on the other hand, would further move forward as OJ from Lamron, who was also allegedly involved in the hit, told police that he heard C-Day was involved. However, as the police know, OJ had inadvertently seen C-Day also being interrogated, and only after this he would tell detectives that he heard from somebody that C-Day was the shooter after hearing C-Day was in custody. However, based on the height of the shooter identified by one of the witnesses and another third-party witness saying that OJ had bragged about doing the murder, the police thought that it was OJ who was likely the shooter. But in the end, none of the witnesses could positively identify the shooter and none of the suspects would fully agree to cooperate against anyone else, and thus the case ultimately remained unsolved. But nevertheless, after rumors of OJ making a statement against C-Day became public years later, after the paperwork was released, he was ridiculed by fans and other Lamron members alike. For example, in Lil Durk's song David Ruffin, he references a friend describing a witness, with many fans suspecting that these lyrics may have been actually aimed at OJ. Chubbs from Lamron also called OJ disloyal, and in response to these allegations, OJ responded on Instagram with several posts alleging his loyalty to his set and claiming to still be solid. The controversy has also not stopped OJ from repping Lamron, and he's still seemingly associated with many of the members and claims Lamron 300 in his IG bio. But when it comes to 600, besides the social media antics, the members would seemingly stay relatively low-key in the streets for the rest of 2012, perhaps because they knew the authorities were looking at them closely. However,
600 was hot, on God, boy.
Their ops were not staying low-key, as they were looking to avenge the murder of Fathead, and ultimately they would get their chance by the end of 2012.
051 was hot too, though. A lot of them 051 niggas got locked up for bodies.
According to 600 members like Tay 600, around 2011, a young man by the name of Trey Henry, aka Trixx, would begin to hang out with 600 members in their area. He was a relatively new face in their hood, and one of the first sightings of Trixx can actually be seen in the music video for the song Man Down by Booker, C-Day, and Rondo that was published in November 2011. As a new member, Trixx would have to earn the respect of the others to be part of the group, but unlike Lil Steve, who became almost immediately respected despite his short time in 600, Trixx would have a harder time fitting in as he was more quiet and often behaved in a way that others might find strange.
But Trixx really never spoke for himself, you feel me? Like, he ain't gonna like never really spoke for himself. He was actually how he was in person. He was very quiet. You know, he was like, you know, you like a little weird. You know, he was weird, quiet. You know, just like how it was back in our day. Like, it wasn't too many like Trixx walking around, for like, I ain't even gonna lie, for like he was to bring attention to himself from us just because we thought, like, why the f do you be acting how you act, bro? Like, we in the hood. Like, I just, it's like, I'm just like, bro, you, okay. What's to you? You know, like, what's to you, folks? Like, what is you on type? Like, why is you so, like, eccentric, folks? Like, he was just different. Like, I ain't gonna lie, like, this used to be tweeting about Pop-Tarts, like, bro, we getting shot at. It's dying. You on the next.
It's a lot of niggas like that though in the hood. Like, we in the hood, we getting shot at game. I don't want to do this. That was low key me. I don't want to do it. Like, bro, I want to go watch Naruto and shit. Like,
we on this. Damn, before they kill one of the guys, he on that. I wonder if they're gonna come out with a new Pop-Tart. Ooh, Snickerdoodle Pop-Tart. he man, vote. That man be on that thinking about new Pop-Tart ideas, fool. Like, they should just drizzle Pop-Tart. They should come out, like, I ain't gonna lie. If he would have been alive for them new Pop-Tart bites, he would have been on the Twitter tweeting about them.
Later, Trixx would get a car, which was not common amongst other members, and according to Tay, was a bad sign, as he knew that others would now try and take advantage of Trixx.
This really got stuff with Trixx a lot.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie, because like when that really happened, folks, like when he got the traffic, it was really crazy. When he got that traffic, the users from the block, they really use folks then for anything.
It's a lot of niggas like that.
C-Day would seemingly begin to hang out with Trixx at this point, often using him as a driver.
You know how that works.
600's enemies.
You gotta watch that shit, get your first little car. Yeah, not everybody wanna ride. Everybody wanna slide. Like, get the fuck out of my shit.
Unfortunately, this may have ended up being Trixx's downfall, as the enemies would undoubtedly begin to take note of his car, whilst he and C-Day were sliding in their neighborhoods.
Right.
Then, on the morning of November 1st, 2012, only about a year after Trixx had seemingly joined the group, he would be found shot to death in that very car. And even though C-Day had been talking to Trixx on Twitter, seemingly on friendly terms only days before his death, right after Trixx's death, he would seemingly deny that he had even known him, and would then even claim that Trixx wasn't even part of 600, calling him an innocent bystander. Later,
so see, and that's some that'll fuck you up, cause you'll be hanging around these niggas cause your mama might have moved on the block or whatever the case is, but you ain't quote unquote 600. The nigga was using you for, he don't care about you dying, shorty. The nigga was using you for a car, using you to take you there. Everybody in the hood broke. Hey, take me to my girl house. I bet.
Known him, and would then even claim that Trixx wasn't even part of 600, calling him an innocent bystander.
I heard that before.
C-Day would repeatedly dish Trixx on Twitter, saying that he didn't care about him dying, despite being in the car with him just a day before his death. C-Day's motivation for denying Trixx would get clearer in a tweet from the following year, where he claimed that the ops would get no points for killing him, because killing him was like killing a random druggie. Now this goes to show you just how harsh and treacherous the streets of Chicago can really be, because clearly Trixx had love for his brothers. Only a few months before his death, Trixx had tweeted, "Free my savage C-Day," clearly looking up to him, and he was often seen wearing custom clothing with 600 written on it. Trixx would even credit C-Day with initiating him into 600.
I remember that nigga from this picture right here.
Clothing with 600 written on it. Trixx would even credit C-Day with initiating him into 600 and would show support for C-Day when he was in prison. However, some of the other members seemed to also be indifferent or disrespectful about Trixx's death and repeated C-Day's claim.
C-Day, these niggas putting up videos when Trixx was in it, still no points. Y'all couldn't just kill Capo or something. LOL, bro. Trixx wasn't 600 Goofy, so why you Twitter wolf and go pick your man's casket up? See, I think this was one of them. It's a lot of niggas like that, like niggas that be around 600, but you can't do like this though. You can't do like free my bro 600. You can't put 600 in your what you call it. You can't wear 600 shirts. You can't say free C-Day and put in all this shit. You can't rep 600 and not get that shit. You know what I'm saying? But he was one of the niggas that sound like he was cool with a lot of niggas from 600, but he wasn't sliding or none of that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I think still it definitely affected niggas. Like, I was cool, bro was cool. Like, that's fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't the whole
but he wasn't like a member.
Trixx. Others like 600 Breezy and Tay 600 himself would seem genuinely sad about his death, and it's alleged that 051 members Freaky and Kiddo may well have been responsible for the murder of Trixx. In the weeks leading up to the murder, Kiddo had actually tweeted offering a cash bounty for anybody who could give him the location of 600 members. And less than 48 hours before his death, Trixx was seen reposting tweets that were taunting 051 Kiddo. And to further add suspicion that Kiddo was involved, around this time, his Twitter handle was changed to @TrixxForDead_BDK. And then, shortly after the killing, 051 Kiddo was then seen dissing Trixx and mocking his death, making the Black Disciple Killer hand sign cracking the trays in front of a box of cereal named Trixx. Regardless of who specifically killed Trixx, it's clear from a Twitter dispute between 051 Melly and Manny 600 that 051 claimed responsibility for this murder. Ultimately, 600 had many enemies in the neighborhood, and they'd be causing pain to 600 in both the streets, as well as in drill music, which was becoming an increasingly important part of the Chicago gang scene. This is undoubtedly partly due to the national and even global breakthrough of drill music, music, which made many of the 600 members focus more on music than the streets. On the 4th of November 2012, prominent 600 member LA Capone would try his hand at music, releasing his first music video for the track Work, a song which shows LA's talent for rap with his confident delivery and immaculate flows, something he would
LA was raw
honing
though
into 2013. However, 600 weren't the only people making music, and over time, their various ops would also be making songs and dragging 600 members in their lyrics. In late November, Dusky the Man from MOB released his diss remix to Chief Keef's classic song Love Sosa, a track titled Hate Sosa. And in the song, Dusky disses 600, rapping that he can't wait to catch D Rose and that he's going to knock over the bricks, a reference to their earlier name Brick City. Going into 2013, the members' efforts in the music scene would begin to pay off big time, and for a moment, it truly seemed that 600 could become the biggest thing in Chicago drill. But unfortunately, right as things were beginning to take off musically, the war in the streets would ultimately end up claiming the life of 600's most talented rap prospect.
Yeah, and that's what fucked them up right there. When LA got killed, that's what fucked everything up on the guys.